Hey guys, welcome back to another episode Up and Running. Thanks for watching. All right, on today's episode, we're going to see if we can get that old 56 Buick to run again. I hope we can. All right, so we just had that Buick engine rebuilt. We had a professional builder do it, and got it put back in now. And we're gonna see if it'll fire up and run smoothly. You know how these things go. You know, sometimes they fight you, sometimes they go smoothly, but more times than not, you're gonna have an issue or two. So I hope you enjoy the episode. All right, the engine just arrived for the Buick. It's all fresh and rebuilt. Comes in a big giant crate. Looks good. Can't wait to hear it run. I tell you, what's awesome for cleaning these things up is these Milwaukee tools right here. You can get all different, pads for them and things like that, but they clean this stuff right up. Let me just see if I can show you here one-handed. I mean, just like that, you're halfway done with one side. So I highly recommend getting something like that. It works great for water pumps, for all kinds of stuff. So I got the engine here. I've been starting to put the accessories on. Got to get a bunch of this stuff done before I put it in the car. I think I'm going to put the top of the engine stuff on in the car. I think it'll be easier that way. Just because I can leave the chain where it is right now and get the intake bolted on and stuff like that. So the valve covers I think will be fine there as well. The other thing is they're freshly painted and I don't want to scratch them all up. So I'm gonna get those torqued down and continue just putting accessories on. All right, so it's time to drop this engine in here. So here we go. And there's some stuff on the back I'm going to have to grab here in a second. Okay. We've got a temperature sender and then an oil pressure sender to plug in. And all right. All right, just gonna drop that into that hole. And then I gotta see if I can get the oil pressure into that hole. This one's gonna be a little bit more of a challenge. I think I'm gonna have to crawl in there to get that started. All right, what I'm gonna do is crawl through the windshield to get that fitting in the right spot. The car's a little high because it's on the dollies, so that's making it a little bit extra of a challenge. See if I can get it started before I cross-thread it. That'll be the challenge, I think. Nope. 0 for 1. Okay, I got that fitting on. Now let's let the engine down the rest of the way onto the mounts. Then I'll get the bolts put in the mounts. And it went onto the floor. Yay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and lay the intake on here. Hopefully I can do this without jacking up the gaskets, because I've got the gaskets where they're supposed to be. Just trying to figure out if there's a way I can grab it. I think I can grab it right through here. Okay, pretty close. Let's throw some bolts in and see what happens. All right, that one started. That one did not yet back there, so let's see if this one will start. Yep. If we just move the gasket. Okay. All right, that one started. All right, got the intake on, and now I'm going to put this valve cover on. I'm just going to like snug this up. There's no holes in these gaskets on here, so you got to be careful you don't squeeze them out. So you definitely don't want these too tight. They should just be, you know, just snugged. All right, let's set the old carburetor on so it berates. The carburetes. All right. Now let's stick the nuts on. And somebody's always got to come by with a diesel. Just enough to make a little noise. All right, working a little more under the hood, get some more stuff put on. All the little tubing and wiring and all that random stuff, all the brackets for the generators and the heater hoses and all that good stuff are getting put on right now. I got the distributor drop down in there and the oil pump lined up with that, so it's all the way down. Always be sure to do that, otherwise you'll create a problem for yourself. So that is how you add capacity to your fuel tank. You just take a bunch of fuel line, you wind it up, and that's extra capacity. That's actually an old NASCAR trick. But anyway, I'm just kind of joking here. I just had a piece that long. I'm waiting for the inline filter to come, and then I'll cut it to length and install it. But yeah, just a little trick if you're racing in NASCAR. Just wind up about 3 miles of hose and you get extra tank capacity. Something else I'll show you on here. This little guy right here, if you open that up, that's where you put oil in to lubricate it. There's actually one on the distributor as well. Let me see if I can see it. It's right there. So you can lubricate your distributor as well. The further back in time you go, the more old cars had things like that on it so you could lubricate it, because things were not lubed for life back then. I was rinsing out the radiator here and I saw the original part numbers on it, the Harrison, and the date of 56 on it yet. So that's kind of cool, and it's in really good shape yet. So, you know, it's not a lot of soldering or, you know, anything like that. So it's crazy how good these things were back then. All right, so today we got to get a few things buttoned up under here. We got a cover to put on there. We got to put the starter in. There's some wiring hanging there for the starter. We got to put some linkage on. We got to get back here, put transmission lines on. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I got a cross member to put in here yet. But if you look on the underside of this car, this thing is clean. I mean, you rarely run across 50s cars that are this clean. All right, so I got the transmission lines put in. So that's ready to go. And then over here I got the starter installed, which was no easy feat. I got the exhaust put on. I got all the linkage for the transmission put on. Got the cross member put on, the speedometer cable, the transmission lines back here. It's just all that little odds and ends stuff that you know, you just gotta do. So I think I'm in pretty good shape under here now. So I just have to do the top where the, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Right up there, you can kind of see a bracket sticking out. I got to do the transmission tube. I got to attach it to the exhaust manifold bolt up there. So that'll be next on the list. All right, there we go. Got the dipstick attached to the exhaust manifold like it should be. All right, so I'll give you a little update on what I'm working on now. So I've got the radiator and the fan shroud in, the hoses. I got to put the transmission lines on the bottom of it yet. I'm running the wiring across the front, and then it goes down over and goes back to the generator. I have not hooked that up yet. I got to put the top core support bar on, and then there's another piece that goes across there. You can see him, you know, laying over there. So those have to go on yet, and then at that point the front bumper can go on. I think I gotta get the horns in here yet as well. I'll keep giving you updates as I continue on, and you can see what I'm working on. All right, so I got the rest of the stuff under here buttoned up. The lines for the transmission had been cut, so I put compression fittings on them so they hopefully won't leak. And I got a bunch of the other stuff up top put on, so let's take a look at that. All right, so I'm gonna start prepping this car for us to fire it up for the first time. So the engine builder recommended some zinc additive, and then we've got some oil for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get pouring this stuff in, and we'll just keep going. The directions on there say put a whole bottle in based on the year. So did that, and now we're gonna put a little conventional oil. They recommended conventional oil as well, so we'll get pouring this in. I know this engine was run on a test stand, and I know there's a little bit of oil in it, so I'm not going to pour this all in. I'm gonna, you know, check it so we don't overfill it. And then, you know, there's some of that zinc additive in there as well that takes up a little space, so we'll try that. All right, for right now, I'm just gonna put straight water in it. We talked about it and decided we're just gonna do water, and that'll ensure that everything goes right. Because if you put antifreeze in, you know, right off the bat, there's gonna be a problem, and it's gonna dump antifreeze all over the place. So that's why you put water in to start. Just gonna make sure nothing's pouring out on the ground right now. See, perfect, nothing on the ground. I keep running my mouth here, and then there's gonna be a problem. How much you wanna bet? It's funny, I hear water like running into the block. Sounds like it's running out on the floor, but it's not. So I gotta get some more water. So it looks like my theory was wrong. We got a big old leak going on under here somewhere. I'm gonna grab a light so we can figure out where it is. Ooh, not good. Oh, it looks like it's coming out a head bolt. I wonder if it's coming out this side too. Yeah, I think there is some on this side too. I don't know if you can see it or not, but looks like it's coming out a head bolt. They didn't put sealer on it. Oh my word! I don't know if you can see it right down there on that exhaust manifold. It's wet. I don't know how many of these bolts go into water jackets. So I'm gonna have a little conversation with the engine builder, and we're gonna figure out how to fix this. Crazy. So this might not be as bad as I'm thinking. If you look right there, kind of right in the center of the picture, there is a threaded hole. It appears like on this side there's just water pouring out of that hole, and of course it's the same on the other head as well, where there is a threaded hole. Yeah, I don't know if there's one like right there. I can't really see if there's one back there. There is. So I have a feeling it's that threaded hole that's the issue. So I'm going to verify that, and then we'll figure out a way where we can block that off. All right, so I did some checking in some old videos that I shot and pictures, and there were studs in all 4 of those holes when the car originally came in. And obviously they're not there now. They were removed at some point. So really I just have to put plugs in those holes, and we should be good to go. So I'm gonna find something that'll work in there, and we'll get that taken care of and continue on the process of getting this bad dog fired up. All right, so what I discovered that those holes were is, if you see right there and right there, they actually had a stud in those holes, and I'm not really sure what it's for, because I went back to some original video footage that I shot, and I see those in the car when the motor's still in the car, and there is nothing attached to those. So I don't know what the purpose of that was. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I think that's our water leak, and hopefully that's taken care of. And we'll find out in a little bit when the sealer dries. Steering's a little low on fluid. We'll get some added into here. All right, let's get a little gas put in here. Hopefully this doesn't spill out all over the place. I don't think it will, because it it had gas in it. So there was probably about 10 gallons of gas in it. All right, we're back to pouring water in. So far I've put a little bit in already, and it has not leaked out. So I think we got it. I'm excited to hear this baby pop off and run. I think we're getting pretty close to being full. All right, I've got a little drip right there where the light is. It appears to be just a hose, so that clamp must not be tight. So I'm gonna take care of that real quick. All right, I think that got it. I just tightened the clamp up a little bit. Must have just been just a hair loose. All right, battery in. Well, I don't make these things any lighter. All right, gotta find the hold down for that. All right, I'm gonna put the battery on, and then I'm gonna check to see if anything is smoking. There's a little bit of a, since we did so much of the wiring on here, I just want to be sure. I'm gonna do a little sniff test. Don't smell anything. All right, I think we're okay. I don't see anything super bad happening. I'm gonna go take one quick look in the back of the car as well. Okay, I'm just giving it one last quick look over. I'm gonna jump in there and see if it cranks from inside. And got oil in it. I added a little transmission fluid because it wasn't on the dipstick. It's on the dipstick now. We may have to add a little more. The other thing I did is I got the back wheels off the ground just in case. We really don't know the status of the transmission, and it's been in and out, and you know, I want to make sure we don't have this thing take off on us. So, all right, let me jump in and we'll give it a try, see what happens here. All right, key is on. I'm going to put it in park. And nothing happens, and something's not right. Oh, there it goes. I'm going to see if we build pressure. The throttle is sticking. I got to take care of that right now. I don't want that to be an issue. I got to figure out what's going on with that. So, all right, little pause here. All right, the problem I'm having is the actual throttle itself is sticking. You can see it's really kind of sticky there. I'm going to have to try to lube that up a little bit and figure out what's going on with that. Okay, I think we've got the throttle working now. Let's give it a try. Oh, there we go. The linkage wasn't all hooked up correctly, and there was an issue on the pedal inside the car as well. So, all right, now that that's done, let's go ahead and try to crank it again. And we had oil up in this engine at one time. Like I said, this engine was actually run once already for testing. So, you know, we're not hurting anything by doing it this way. But I'm going to try to get some fuel pumped up now. The four barrels were actually just stuck just a pinch as well. So I had to free that up. All right, key on. Let's see if it cranks. Hopefully we're pumping some fuel up. This thing cranks for a certain amount of time and then stops on its own. That's interesting. All right, I'm going to see if any fuel came up now, and if not, we'll figure something out for that. All right, so as of right now, no fuel. So what I'm probably going to do is then just try to start it because I think everything is in good shape now. I'm going to try to pour a little gas down in the carb and see what happens, see if she lights off. All right, and drop a little gas down in it. I'm not going to want this to run long. I just want to hear if it pops off or not. Ooh, that's a good amount. That's a good amount. All right, battery's hooked up. Let's see what happens. All right, on. Hit the starter. It's in park. All right, sounds like the timing's off. I'm gonna make sure, I had set this at top dead center once, so I'm gonna double check that again and see where it's at. Then it's not gonna backfire through the carb like that. So, all right, hold on while I check this. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to get it to just pop off and make sure we're close on stuff. So here we go. It lit. Woo! Try one more time. See if it'll go again. Put a little more gas in it, I think. Needs a little gas in it. Timing sounds a little off too. I'm gonna bump that as well. All right. All right, let's see if it'll bump off with that. All right, here we go. Yeah, it lit. So, all right, now we got a little other stuff to do. Oh yeah, and by the way, the distributor was installed 180 out. I don't know who the idiot was that did that, but I mean, you're just an idiot if you do that. Oh boy. All right, I put a little fuel in the bowl as well. I had a little funnel, so I'm just going to drop a little in there. We'll see if it lights and if it runs a little bit longer. All right. Try a little more fuel in it. All right, we'll roll it one more time. All right, let me throw a little in there. I'm not 100% sure. We don't really know the status of this, you know, really any of this stuff. So we're kind of figuring that part of it out right now. So let's try this again. Okay, I found a little bit better way to get some gas in the bowl. So let's try this one more time. Let's see how this thing will run. Oh! No ticking, no noises. Should be that way, it's brand new. Got oil pressure in here. I do not show it's charging, but I can worry about that later. Nice! Okay, I have a feeling it's still not sucking up out of the tank yet, so let me take a look here real quick. No, that filter's bone dry yet. I may want to pour another 5 gallons in the tank just to, you know, get it up there a little bit. But otherwise we'll see. I don't know if the fuel pump's no good or what. So, well, we'll keep plugging away one thing at a time. That's all you can do. All right, I'm going to see if this thing will go into gear or not. We'll see if we got enough fluid in it. I do think it's a little bit low. So anyway, let's try this. Yeah, it is going into gear. There's reverse. There's drive. Still trying to get fuel up in it. It's got really good oil pressure. Nope, I still don't think it's getting fuel, so. I bet our fuel pump is bad, but I'm gonna pour a little more gas in it another 5 gallons just to make sure it's got plenty in there, because that tank was totally empty, and make sure the actual pickup is, you know, in the fuel. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, right now there's absolutely nothing in the filter, so I can't really get it to run long enough. I could try. Right now it's not showing any trans fluid on the stick, so I think it's definitely low, and you know, we got to add a little bit. So all right, so right at the end of that last run, I don't know if you can see it there, it sucked up a little fuel, so there is a little bit starting to come in there now. So I'm going to put fuel in the bowl one more time and start it up and see if it continues to run. Okay, I poured a little more fuel in the bowl. Let's fire this thing up and see if it keeps running. I don't think it ran this long before, so I think we're running off the tank right now. I've got the back wheels chalked just in case. Yeah, there's fuel in the filter right now. We'll see if it keeps pumping it up or not. To be honest, there's not a ton, but I don't know, we'll see, I guess. It's definitely running off the tank right now. All right, nothing pouring out under the car. Alright, I'm just going through like the break-in process on the engine, so that's why the idle is up. And then I'm checking the temperature from time to time just to verify we're not overheating. So been hovering right around that 195 mark the whole time. It's been running now for about 20 minutes. I've been varying the idle speed. I'm basically following the instructions that the engine builder gave me to get this broke in. So we got about 10 minutes to go yet. All right, so I am not happy with the way this carburetor makes this car run. So I'm gonna send this off and have it rebuilt. I had some issues with it starting off where it was very sticky and it didn't want to rotate very well. The secondary shaft was stuck in it. Didn't want to turn at all. And you know, I just feel like there's probably some issues inside from it sitting. So I'm going to pull it off and have it rebuilt so we don't have any issues. All right, got the carb back from the carb builder. I've got the vacuum advance disconnected for the distributor because we need to do the final set on the distributor, but otherwise she's all installed and ready to go. So let's see what happens. Hopefully it runs good. Okay, I'm gonna give this one last look over to make sure I'm not missing anything. I think everything's in place. I got the vacuum advance unhooked from the carb. I got that plugged. I got a wrench to tighten down the distributor. I got a timing light there with the hookup on cylinder 1. All right, so I think we are ready. So I'm gonna give it a crank and see what happens. Ooh. Keys on, it's in park. All right, let's push the button. It's gonna take a second to suck the gas into the carb. All right, we'll put a little more in. All right, let's light her off. All right, let's try this. This is a little tighter fit, I think. Well, that didn't work either. Golly. All right, let's see if any got in there. Or if I just poured it out again. Oh my word. Haha, there we go. Kind of idles now. Let's throw the light at her. Okay, the timing was right on the money there, but I think we'll have to adjust the carb a little bit. I'm going to lock down the distributor. All right, let's give this another try. I just touched the idle speed a little bit. On. Oh, look at that! Look at that! All right, let's double check this. That's right on the money there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hook the vacuum advance back up and get that working right, and then we'll do any final tuning that it needs. All right, so the vacuum advance on this car is actually a hard line. It's right there, and then it runs back to the distributor. So that's kind of an interesting way to do it. You don't have to worry about rubber burning out. All right, vacuum advance hooked up. Well, that thing runs good now. Woo, Nelly. We got really good oil pressure. Thing's got some torque.
Yeah. Power steering works.
Yeah, it works good. All right, now you got to go up to drive 2 clicks. Seat's not bolted down. Sorry, there's going to be a little wind noise. There's no windshield in here. Stops. Speedometer's not hooked up. Apparently we didn't hook that up. We'll have to do that. Brakes work. Sounds like it's blinking. Suspension is soft on this baby. Good oil pressure. Starting to come up. Alright, so we got a little gas thing going on up under there. Let's start her up and see if it's still leaking. Like it's running better right now.
I tapped the hole.
I wonder if we had a stuck flow.
See if it'll light up.
gas running out the carb now?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we had gas running out right down there. Ed tapped the float, and it seems like that might have fixed it. We took a look down the carb. We don't see it running out or anything in there, and it seems like it's cleared up and is kind of staying cleared up, so I don't know. Hopefully it was just a fluke. Just making some fine-tune adjustments here.
That feels really good right
Yeah,
there.
it's really smoothed out. Ooh-wee, look at that thing in the sun. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode Up and Running. Glad we got the Buick running. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for your notifications, because there is going to be more content on this Buick, and you definitely do not want to miss it. Thanks for watching.